Happy Sunday. What's going on, dude?
Welcome in. What's up, guys? How we
Yeah.
doing?
Welcome to the show. Please remember, if it's your first time, to like, comment, and subscribe because, folks, we have a fucking legend in here with us tonight. God knows, thanks to Theo, because he knows all the fucking coolest people in this community. And
Well, I know you, don't I?
well, I know
Hey, didn't.
that's the downside, right? Everybody's just like, oh yeah, but he rolls with that Phil guy a lot. Poor dude. But in
Oh,
this
Rage is
case,
coming. Oh, Phil's with him.
yeah, it's like, here comes the giant white shadow behind Rage. But we've got Gem Mint joining us this evening, everybody, and we're going to be talking statues and omnibuses and all kinds of hype shit tonight. I'm excited,
Yes, we
dude.
will be. Yep, let's
Oh
get it.
man. Oh
I'm
man.
ready.
Well, then, without further ado, let us get to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Gem Mint.
Do I get the special intro and everything? I noticed that with the
Bro!
recent footage.
Welcome in, bro.
Bro!
Welcome in.
You're a special guest. You get special treatment,
Appreciate it.
homie. It's good.
Thank you for the intro. I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
Well,
Appreciate you taking the time, man.
we would love to take credit, but our guy Posh in chat, credit where credit is due. Thank
Shout out
you
to
to our
Posh.
amazing editor.
And it is dope. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh man. So how you been, dude? How you been? Keeping busy?
I've been good, man. Been really focused on like the workout and fitness stuff again. Like I got into it, then like man, traveling and moving and so many things set me back. But now I'm back on my grind, and that's kind of like the big thing right now, man. Getting back onto that, and then hopefully getting back into strong with the content again.
Well, your content game has always been strong, man. So getting into working out
It's
and
almost
whatnot.
as strong as that wall behind you.
Well, it's got to have
wait till we
strength
go-
to it.
We're gonna go get to the wide shot, everybody. Nobody wants to look at Phil and Theo's faces. We should just be talking. The entire conversation should just be like this. You just hear us, and we all stare. We all stare at this man and this. There's not even words, dude. There's not even words. Holy shit!
Crazy pieces, man, for sure.
How did you get started in the statues? I have to ask. I mean, like, when did this crazy adventure begin for you? Like, what was that first thing you're like, oh, this is gonna be a problem?
Yeah, I pre-ordered my first piece. It was 2017. I think it was like February 2017. One of my buddies on Instagram posted a picture of his Hulk 181 with this statue from Sideshow that was Wolverine versus Hulk, like, and it looked like the cover. So that's really what hooked me. I already had been collecting slabs and keys at the time, and then I pre-ordered that piece, but I was like so anxious to get it in that I went to my local comic shop and I bought like their Apocalypse premium format and then their Spider-Man Comiquette, just waiting for the one that I pre-ordered to arrive. So I kind of knew it was going to be a problem then because I'm ordering stuff before I got the new stuff. And then once I got that, I started digging into the older pieces, like, oh man, I need that Wolverine, I need that Sabretooth, and it just became a huge thing, man. As you can see.
Gosh, yeah. Oh yeah. This is the corner. It's not even the room. It's
Right.
the corner.
It's true. It is true. Yeah, man. That thing did it for me. Really, I had seen statues in the past and I didn't really get it. I didn't get it until I picked up the quarter scale Donatello from NECA. I've always been a big Turtles fan. I used to do action figures back in the day. And I don't know, I just sprung for that. I was like, maybe I'll collect these turtles. And then when I saw the size of it, and I knew that it was quarter scale like those other statues, I was like, oh, now when you see it inside in your face and you pair it up with the comics and whatever, that's when I got it. And that's when I pre-ordered that other piece, man.
So when did it get to the point when you're like, okay, I got X amount of statues, I need to make a room?
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point, because with statues, it quickly becomes a problem, like where you have nowhere to put them. You know what I
I'm
mean?
like, yeah.
Yeah,
For me,
yeah.
I'm
You
like
only
looking
have
at
so
my own
many
house. And I'm like, if I
nightstands.
got 5 of those, I'd be in trouble. Like,
For real. So this isn't like my first iteration, right? I've done multiple man caves, and by the time I had started collecting statues, I had already gotten into the omnis. So I already had like a library calyx situation in the room before that you guys never really seen on YouTube. Like I've shared a picture of it on Facebook or whatever, but I had those calyx, and they actually are the perfect size, or they were for quarter scale pieces during that time, where you could just put the statues on top of the bookcases. So luckily, I had, but that quickly I ran out of space, and then I started. That's when I started looking on YouTube for content. Man, I started looking at people. Does anybody make videos about these statues or these omnibus? How do I find a list of omnibus that are out there? And like that's how I ended up finding like my little corner of YouTube. But yeah, ran out of space. Started figuring out IKEA has other furniture like the Calyx, which is for books, but stuff that you could use to hold stuff like statues.
okay.
Yeah, and you got to get special reinforced things for that too. This isn't like a traditional bookshelf because these things aren't like.
Well,
I mean,
back
these are
then,
solid.
again, so the statue boom kind of began right around that time. Like back then, your typical statue wasn't that big, wasn't that heavy for the most part. Now, these things behind me are massive 60 to 100-pound pieces. But back then, it wasn't that big of a deal where you could do just straight the Calyx stuff, just with all the stuff that comes from IKEA. Then eventually you had to reinforce it with metal brackets. Then people started using garage shelves. And yeah, then it became you needed more support. And these are custom build ones that had to be able to withstand and hold a lot of weight.
So you're working out more. Is that just you just lifting your statues up and down from a shelf to a shelf? Like just like,
No,
all right, we're doing squats
I had
today.
to,
Lower
I
shelf
had
to
to
upper shelf.
move like 70 statues when we moved, right? I was in the best shape I ever been during that time. I'm like, yo, if I hadn't have done this, I don't think I could have did this right now, because it was like exhausting moving all this stuff, all the books, all the statues, all the arcades.
Oh, we're gonna
Yo.
get to the omnis. Yeah, we're gonna get there.
And the arcades too.
So,
There's
so I gotta
another
ask you,
side.
I collect some toys, right? I mean, I'm talking like small action figures. So, do you keep
Yeah.
all the boxes for all your statues?
You kind of have to in the statue world, because they come in. If you've ever seen one of my videos, in a big styrofoam box that has like the right notches carved out for the pieces. So
Right.
in the statue collecting world, I mean, some people buy and collect forever and they never get rid of it, but the chances are you're going to have to store it, move it, sell it, or something. And if you don't have that, it's going to be extremely difficult, and it does lose value, because now when you go to sell it on eBay, you got to be like, hey, I ain't got the box. I got to bubble wrap it, and that it just doesn't really fly
Yeah, it's
in the
kind
hobby.
of like a toy or like a Nintendo. It goes for more with the box, but
Yeah.
then without. Yeah, yeah.
It goes for it holds its value with the box, and sometimes it appreciates. But when you get rid of the box, it's always a devaluation.
Yeah, and especially just even thinking about shipping it for yourself too. I mean, eventually, even if you're not selling it, you're eventually going to move. And I can't
You're right.
imagine wanting to load these up in a trailer without a
Well,
box that's specific.
I imagined it and I lived it. June of last year, June and July of last year. It was a
Here
nightmare.
you are,
yo.
9-10 months later, and you're like, "Fuck,
We're
it's still moving."
almost complete. Like we're not even done yet. That's why it's been such a crazy, man. Like last 12 months have been crazy as hell. Because actually, March of last year is when we flew out to this area to kind of scope it out. So it's like a year since then, and then we closed at like the end of June. It's been a hell of a 12 months, man.
So, are you doing just the room that you're in, or are you doing like a lot of your house with statues?
So we did. Oh no. So the whole point of the expansion was like I personally didn't like the collection overflowing into other rooms. My wife, she doesn't care. She thinks this shit's cool, so she's like whatever. But me, I'm a little bit more bougie, where I'm like, nah, man, we need a dining room table. We can't have statues in the dining room. Like, it sounds cool, but to me, it's like I want a house too. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to.
So you don't want a sentinel on your kitchen table. That's what you're trying to
Right.
tell me right now.
Basically.
Honey,
But,
the salt's around the rogue. Would you mind handing it to me real quick? Just
Exactly. So that's why we ended up doing this move and dedicated the whole basement to it. So we have a good space for all this stuff.
Man,
That's cool.
That's freaking amazing. I'm
It's
just, I'm
crazy.
still just, I'm just speech. I have to try and help to think of questions while we're here talking. That's why I got to move this guy into a smaller set because I'm just looking at, I'm just staring at everything in the background. I'm like Batman
So
right there.
I
That's
got a question.
Nightwing. That's
I got a question. Okay, so is it easy to sell statues, ship them, and is there grading when it comes to a statue?
No grading, but
Okay.
it the selling market is like the comic book market, and like most things, it's kind of soft right now. But I think it is easy to sell. I mean, buy and sell all the time. As far as shipping it, yeah, it's going to be a little bit more on the high end, but it could be what $40 to like $200. But when you buy and sell between collectors, it tends to be cheaper. The companies are kind of getting crazy with the prices, man. One of these 1/3 scale pieces with 2 boxes could be like $200 a box or something, and be really crazy. But like, I don't know, collector to collector, it's not really that bad. Pirate Ship, y'all. We use pirateship.com. I don't know if we're allowed to promote that or not, but
This channel isn't sponsored by any.
that's a gem
No.
for y'all. If you need to ship something, first of all, I use them to ship everything, but except for Whatnot. Whatnot got the built-in shipping.
Yeah, I've heard Pirate Ship actually at numerous occasions. A lot of people use that, so it seems to be the thing to use.
Pirate Ship is like what eBay and PayPal shipping used to be. Remember back in the day, I don't know if you would just print through PayPal. I used to do it.
Right.
PayPal/Ship Now or something. I think they took it away though.
You still can though. Now it's ShipStation.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Cool.
No idea.
And actually leads us into our next question I was going to ask you. Have you seen the same market changes like we've seen in comic books?
Yeah, and I was just saying that. And you know what's funny? It's for different reasons. The reason why the market is soft now for comics, well, first of all, a lot of people got into it during the pandemic, right? Just like a lot of people came back to the hobby as a whole. And the statue companies started making more expensive pieces. The shipping started to get more expensive because a lot of their costs were increasing due to the pandemic as well. So we lost a ton of people to the hobby because the hobby just got too expensive. So now when you try to go to sell a piece, there's nobody there to buy. And then you got to reduce the price until it's like, yo, it's a steal of a deal type of thing. So the statue companies, in my opinion, is what caused the collectors to get out of the hobby. And now we just have less people in it. And then I'm sure the economy in general, people might not be spending as much, whatever. But
COVID checks aren't coming in still,
for real.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think like outside movies and media affects comic books. I don't think that had any effect really on the statue market. The only thing that will do is maybe make a statue more sought after because it's a popular character or something, but it has its own reasons why there was this big statue boom, and now we feel like we're in a soft market.
So I was actually going to ask that. So do you see the same type of like comic book increases for statues when like a character gets like casted, announced, anything like that?
No, not for that. The only way in the collectibles that I'm into, statues and these omnibus, the only way that becomes valuable is if it's sold out from the person who made it. If you can no longer purchase that piece on Sideshow, then the only place you can purchase from is on eBay or the aftermarket, and people will know and they'll charge more. What are you willing to pay for it? You know what I mean? So that is same thing with the omnibus. Now the omnibus thing has a curveball with it, whereas that book could be reprinted and it could be the second printing or third printing, but you'll see a book that's long sold out and sought after going for more and more and more on eBay. But once they announce that reprint, boom, that thing crashes because you're going to be able to buy it for undercover price when it comes out.
Ooh, that's true. Never even thought about
funny.
that.
It's like it's the same, but it's different. There's different cause and effects, it seems like.
So a couple people in the chat, appreciate you guys. We got one question here from Rip It. What's your heaviest statue?
90s. Shout out to Rip It 90s. I think it's kind of unfair, but I recently did like this huge Justice League diorama. It's technically like 7 small statues that go together, but like if that together would be the heaviest. Otherwise, maybe that life-size Venom bust I think was heavy. It was hard to get it.
How many pounds are we talking here?
I don't know. I mean, not like over 100. I would be surprised if it was 100, but
so less than 100
statues,
pounds?
I would think it was less than 100.
Okay. Shout out Troll Hunter.
Oh, shout out to the trolls.
If your house was going to explode in 3 minutes, what's the one statue you're grabbing?
I wouldn't grab none. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna save one statue. What am I gonna do? Like, I'm not a one statue collector type of guy. I'll just make sure I get my family and everybody, and then anything else could be
All right,
replaced.
you got
anyway.
the family, you
Respect.
got the dog. What's
Respect.
the
We're
one
good.
statue? Okay, you
We
can
could get it
grab
all.
one.
We could get it all back. I would just start probably with a whole different focus. Like, okay, I'm only gonna do Street Fighter statues now. I would do something totally different and bounce back off that.
Gotcha. Yeah, there you go. Get that insurance.
The insurance claim will take care of that. We'll get
sure.
a whole new thing from there. Oh yeah,
Oh,
dude. Dude, I can't even. I can't even imagine. So, are you a omnibuses? You know, a lot of us have some, have a few. You know, it's impossible almost to collect every single comic, right?
Right.
And is it just the desire to read those entire arcs, those entire runs, that just like, I've got to pick this up because there's no
Yeah.
other way. But I mean, we've got apps now. A lot of people can try and get things online, but I'm still a reader. I like to have a thing to touch and turn.
Yeah.
What brought that on?
So you know, I mentioned I used to collect key comics. I was collecting key issues, and I was collecting a lot of Spider-Man keys. And this was all on Instagram. Like, I jumped on Instagram in 2014. I was like one of the original comic book people on Instagram. Shout out to like 4 Comics was there, and Storm Shadow was there. That's the guy who created the whole IG Comic Fam hashtag. There was other people there too.
Wow.
TiVo. A lot of us were there during that time. And what else? I was collecting key issues, and I ended up selling all of my Spider-Man keys to buy an Amazing Fantasy 15. I was like, yo, why am I collecting Green Goblin, Rhino? I'm collecting all these B-list, C-list characters. If Spider-Man's my favorite character, I need to get the first appearance of Spider-Man. So I sold everything. I've always had that kind of like buyer seller mentality. You know what I'm saying? And then I got the AF-15, and then the plan was to pick up ASM-1 and then start going to get all those keys back that I sold to get it. You know how it goes. But during that time, I went to my comic shop, Past, Present, Future in West Palm Beach, Florida. That's where I bought those other statues I mentioned earlier, the Apocalypse and the Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. I see this Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 chilling in their little area in the back by the comics. I'm like, yo, what is this big-ass book? Like, I had seen Marvel Masterworks. I've even picked up, I don't know if I even mentioned this before, but like, I've picked up like the old Silver Age X-Men and Spider-Man Marvel Masterworks trades back in the day, just like, oh shit, you can read the old school stuff. Anyway, so I see this as oversized. I pick it up right away. I'm like, yo, you can read AF-15 and ASM 1 through 30 with Annual 1 and the Strange Tales tie-in. Like, it blew my mind because I'm like, yo, all of this is just in this one book, right? So I bought it, took it back home, didn't really think much about it. And then for whatever reason, the Infinity Gauntlet omnibus caught my eye. And I was like, oh, shit, it's got the Infinity Gauntlet 1 through 6. It's got Thanos Quest that leads into it. It has all the tie-ins, all the 90s Silver Surfer stuff. It's got the epilogue stuff. It's got everything. I'm like, yo, that was the first one I read from front to back. And I was like, I need to collect every comic book series and run in this format right now. I need to put it on the shelf. They look good together. I'm looking at my comics.
They do look good together.
I had short boxes, and they were all in this big bookcase. And I'm like, yo, these ugly ass boring boxes. I never flip. It's a pain to flip through them. I pull it out. It's not the right one. I got to put it back. I pull it out. I'm betting the comic. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, I'm getting rid of all my single issues. I'm getting rid of this AF-15. I'm getting rid of all these other, whatever I had going on. And I started buying the Omnis like crazy. And then I was doing that until I ended up leading up into buying the statue. Or the statue.
I can respect that. That's because honestly, the omnibuses is like it's like an encyclopedia for the runs. I mean,
well, it's history, man. You have all you have the historical source material all right there forever.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the omnibuses I have, I'm sure you could take a guess which ones they are, but it's all X-Men volume like 1 through 5.
That's a dope ass set, yo.
Honestly, the only reason that I'm able to now sell a lot of my X-Men books, I've sold that run, I think, like 30 times. And honestly, the only reason I can keep doing that is because I know I have an Omni where I can just kind of go through each issue if I want to.
Brand new, colors are bright and vibrant. It's not, the paper is bright, super white. It looks better than if you read it on the original comic. You know what I mean? Like, I know that has its own charm to it and all that as well, but it looks beautiful. They're bigger than the original pages, so it's oversized. The format is oversized.
I'm
I
a
love
lot
him. I
less
got a
worried
whole.
about going through it than when I go through a comic book.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, I'm holding that thing like a baby has. Just, yeah.
Yeah, I have to like run to apps or things like that if I really don't want to touch the book, and that's the way it almost feels nowadays because they're so fragile. And printing is not what it used to be, too. Like in comics as well. Like we all know, the Marvel paper is hella cheaper. It doesn't feel the same way when you're holding a comic. It's like beforehand, you could just give it a little bit of a just nice little hold, and it would hold its form. But then like the new ones, you can just see them starting to sag, and like that crease is just waiting to hit in the corner and just at any moment.
Yeah, super thin.
It's not the same kind of thing. But those hard covers, those omnis, those things are something that you can display in a way too that we can't really do with our comics, which is
The spines look beautiful on.
Yeah, they do. They
For
do.
sure.
I think I saw a Berserk collection.
So I got into Berserk because I was a
Crazy.
statue collector and omnibus collector. Like I've seen Prime One have these statues, and I'm like, yo, those anime bases are always on another level. Like I'm jealous that they get like these big elaborate bases compared to comic stuff. And then in the hardcover community, they started talking about these Berserk deluxe editions, and I'm like, damn, that's the manga that those statues are from. I read it, fell in love with it. It's like one of my favorite franchises of all time. And then I got crazy into the statues as well, and that's a whole other story. But yeah, man, that, and what's crazy about that is Volume 13 is on its way to me right now. Volume 14 is the last stuff with the author and writer Kentaro. I can't remember the name right now. I'm drawing a blank. Miura. But I don't, and we don't really know as fans how they're going to continue that, because now like his students have continued the book. Anyway, it's a long story, but yeah, they have other series like that too.
It's okay.
Okay, yeah.
And quick question, shout out to Gabriel Michaels. Do you find that omnibuses are poorer quality than absolute or deluxe editions?
I mean, I do think that absolute editions are the most prestige format that you could read comic books in. So I think absolutes are top tier. I think comparing omnibus to deluxe editions is tough because it's kind of like the same thing, except for the omnibus are much thicker, so they have to deal with that different issues. And I think some omnibus could feel like lesser quality because you can't really mess up a deluxe edition. For the most part, you're never going to have issues with the spine. You're never going to have those issues that having a large, fat omnibus would have. So I don't want to say they're poorer quality, but I do think absolutes are higher quality. And deluxe editions just got it easy because they don't have to collect as many pages.
True.
John, how are you, sir? Yeah, guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you guys. Comic Ozzy, what's up, bro?
Like.
Do you regret selling that AF-15?
I do when it was going for like 30 grand, but I would have sold it at that time. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like a chase and hunt kind of thing, man. Once I had it, it wasn't the same. I don't know. And then it was like, not only that, I ended up having X-Men 1, Fantastic Four #1. I had Avengers 1, Hulk 181s. I did build back keys after I bought that. And I was just chasing the dragon, man. I was like, yo, there's always some other crazy ass. I don't have Hulk 1 yet. I don't have this
There's
or that.
There's always another unicorn.
There's always another one, and it never ended. And that's what I like about the hobby that I'm in now, because that's cool that it doesn't end, because I'm kind of like buying, selling, building collections, selling them off, and it kind of evolves. But the keys were just so expensive, and it was like it was just never ending, and it was years ago too. So
yeah. Do you have any statues?
I feel like there's more consistency in statues
that you regret selling.
Omnis, I regret. I purged a lot down before I moved, so I didn't have to move with everything. So I sold a lot of stuff that I was like, I sold a lot of Golden Age, like DC stuff, and I don't want to say I regret it, but I do have the space for it now, and it would look better with them there. But it is what it is. I don't necessarily miss them,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I got a question here. Are there any omnibuses that should be left sealed?
I was never a sealed or a first print collector. I don't really care. I would say most of the omnibus collectors don't. There are some that do. But the problem with not stretching the spine is like if you have an old omnibus that's sealed and it has like glue that's used at all in the binding, it could crack whenever it does get opened up, and it could immediately be like brittle. So you're supposed to open them right away and stretch the spine out. It used to be a thing I used to say all the time. You got to stretch that spine, put it flat, flip the pages back and forth, and let the spine breathe a little bit,
Yep.
I did not know that.
Damn. Things we learn every day.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
it's
honestly, when it comes down to it as well, you know, in your collection, things that you have in there, when it comes to different manufacturers right now, like, you know, you were talking about the anime bases, you know, anime is huge,
Right.
and anime is worldwide, so, you know, sometimes they get that little bit more attention to detail perhaps, and, you know,
It
to
seems
entice people
it
to
seems
pick
like they
them.
have a
But
larger fan base for sure.
oh yeah, they're out selling comics all the
Oh, it
time,
doesn't
but
seem like it. They do.
they do. But you know, when it comes to this, and I completely lost where I was going with that. I had a question, man. I had a question in my head, and I got
Were you gonna
caught
ask
off
me
on
what
anime.
about statue
But
manufacturers?
yeah, like when you're statue manufacturing right now, is there? I mean, we all know Sideshow. I mean, well, I think we all know Sideshow. I think that they're, you know, they're great, but I
They're
see
probably
every
the
once in
biggest
a while
one.
other manufacturers making some crazy detailed. I think it was the Venom. I don't think the Venom was
No, so
Sideshow.
Sideshow's the biggest in this country, and they
Yeah.
produce and manufacture statues, but they also distribute. So, like, they exclusively distribute PCS statues, which do a lot of video game stuff. They do Transformers. They do the Ninja Turtle stuff that you guys may have seen that I have,
Okay.
like the Last Ronin and all that. And then, like, Queen Studios is a statue company that they sell on their own, and they are distributed through Sideshow, which had that huge Venom bust and the Carnage life-size bust. And they're probably the highest quality stuff out there that I've seen, man. They're really, Prime One Studio is really up there as well as far as the quality. I mean, XM as well, but
Yeah.
but Queen Studios, from what I've seen so far, seem to be like the highest quality pieces right now.
Dude, I saw you putting in the tongue in the teeth in
Yeah,
that Venom, and
it was
it
crazy.
was sick. The magnetic
It's super realistic.
locking in each
Yeah.
part and piece. I saw like,
Yep.
like
That was Carnage.
damn.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Who came out
And
with the Galactus one that everybody had to like pre-buy into before they even made it?
So
Was
I
that
think
Sideshow?
that sounds like the Hasbro figure,
that
though, to
sounds like
me.
Hasbro.
That just
Yeah,
came out last year. You know what I'm talking
yeah.
about?
It
It's
was a
like
recent thing.
gigantic. Yeah, people
Yeah, that's Hasbro.
had to pay
I
up
didn't get
front.
it. I don't like articulation, man. I can't get into it.
Yeah,
Can't
no,
get
I
into
get it.
it.
I
So,
saw the
so do you
Ghost
think the
Rider too.
articulated figures are the same as statues, or are they two completely different types?
I think the articulation makes it a different thing. Where when you compose it versus when a sculptor posed it in a certain way. So I don't. I'm no knock on anybody. Whatever you like to collect is what you like to collect. But personally, I just like give me some kind of movement that I couldn't make. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
Any
No,
thoughts on
absolutely.
oversized library or artist editions?
yeah, they're super cool. I would buy them and I would never look into them again. I would look through it one time, the time that I got it, or maybe when I just did the video on it, and I would never look at it again. And that at that time I didn't have the space. Now I really don't even have the space now for big ass books like that. Kind of one little area. I got Stan Lee chilling there right now, though. I have one artist edition right now, which is the Spider-Man Todd McFarlane. But I used to have like the Jim Lee X-Men one was fire. There's a lot of great ones out there.
Okay. Shout out Kamikaze. I'm curious to know what the panel thinks of the new generation of comic enthusiasts. Are we headed to a digital age of consuming? Good
I don't think
question.
so, man. There's so many aspects of comics, and one of them is collecting them. Another one is grading them, getting them signed, original art. There's so much more to comics than just reading the story. So I don't think we're ever going to lose the print. You know, I mean, it might get really small, and who knows what's going to happen. They got to figure out a way to make it cheaper, though. I'll tell you that right now. Cheaper or less titles, because you can't be reading multiple titles at $6 a pop. Like, and then it's not
Needs to
even
be
good.
less titles. Just have
It has
everybody cross over. Get it done.
Personally,
something. I don't
manga's
know.
got it right. Manga has been putting out books, right?
Yep.
You get a book,
I'm
and
getting
to
into
me,
manga, man.
yeah, I enjoy manga, and
I
in
I
my
get
have
it.
a few
Like,
in
you
the
know,
opinion,
PC.
it's like a trade paperback almost, is like what
yeah.
they push out on a regular basis. And if I had to say where I
And it's
hope
small, dude.
comics are going, if they want to stay in print, they have to get more responsible, and they would have to look at a route of getting it out that way. I mean, could you make a special collector's edition? Sure. I mean, will it take away the value of the individual runs? Maybe over time, but it's just make the comics that are out right now more valuable anyways, because it's a medium, it's an exact medium that maybe will not continue. But I think it needs to become more responsible, like you said, man.
Yeah.
There's just too many titles out there, too many tie-ins. I love X-Men, but I'm sick to death of every single week that I go in there having to pick
Right.
up 8 issues
And you
because
know,
of all
it's
the
crazy.
tie-ins.
Like the people used to complain about the events and the tie-ins back in the day, but like recently, I feel like it's more than ever. Like every event has tie-ins, and then there's even mini-series tie-ins. It's like, yo, and I gotta buy these 3 issues to go just to get the 6-issue main story. Like, what the hell? But which is
Just to
why
understand the
though
little asterisk in panel 12, the little asterisk like collect these different books. Like, I'm out.
you didn't even need, every time you didn't need to read it. So it's like, bro, what am I doing?
Yeah.
But
Shout
that's
out
why I
to
liked
Hunter.
That's why I liked Omnibus though, man, because it would collect all that shit. You know what I mean? And $100 book when it comes out, it's usually like 50% off. So it's like, yo, you can't even lose buying this, yo. Like you're buying it for less than retail. I never understood in my life. You could buy these things off of any major book distributor online while they're in stock, anywhere from like, I think 42% is really the highest that you really go, which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost half off, but
Yeah. Yeah. And at the same time, too, I mean, it's still cheaper than individually buying the books if you've been buying them month to month and
that's
all
crazy
those
expensive. Yeah.
tie-ins.
And then
You,
bags
you
and
just spent
boards, and then forget it. You get a variant. Now you get caught with a variant.
Bags
500
and
bucks worth of
boards.
comics for $100 omnibus that's half off on top of that. You got the whole story. It makes no sense.
So I know I'm noticing now because I was reading weekly comics every week for like a few years. I haven't read any weekly comics since January 1st. So I'm like, I'm not spending a bunch of money. I'm not reading a bunch of comics. I'm like, I'm trying to like, I had to focus on something else for a little bit, so I had to drop that. But yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot.
John's
There's a
Comics
lot.
with Kids got me into the trade paperbacks. He's just like, read an issue
Trade
or
with
two,
it, yeah.
decide if you're going to really like it. And if you
Yeah.
do, then just chill out and wait for the trade paperback.
Because we know the formula now. They're going to take the arc, make it a trade. They're going to take a couple arcs, make it a hardcover. Then they're going to take the whole series and make it an omnibus.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right, man. Absolutely right. Guys, Something is Killing the Children right over there the same way. Got all the different trade paperbacks. And I got the hardcover. I'm like, second one's coming out soon. Fucking get
Well, I mean,
I
they
got that
kind of
hardcover.
released their formula, right? Like you just said, we know what they're going to do now, so you can always.
But that's the
just
problem.
wait.
So that's where people used to say, is trade waiting bad? Because if everybody starts doing that and nobody's buying the single issues, you're not going to get a trade. You know what I mean? It's not going to be worth printing it. So that's been
Well,
the
it's kind of like a
conundrum with
movie,
that.
right? If everybody waits till it streams.
But again, to my pro paper comics argument, that's why it's continuing, because those single issues are still collectible and you can get them graded, you can get them signed. Like they hold value where the digital doesn't hold anything. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You could talk NFT world and maybe that'll be something different. But you bought those singles and you might have messed around and got Something is Killing the Children #1, and now all of a sudden that $4 book is worth $400 or whatever it is.
Oh,
so
yeah.
For me, that for that reason alone, I think comics are safer than they would be had it didn't have that collectible aspect.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, I can agree with that too.
I think I just want it to become
Just be better, a little bit better.
I just want it to. I just feel like we deserve a little bit more story for what we're having to buy into each and every single part and piece, to kind of keep up nowadays.
The event thing, the mandatory event thing, I don't understand. I mean, maybe it's good. Maybe it does spike sales for them, and it's like there's got to be a reason why they're doing it, right? But it gets draining on the consumer a little bit.
Yeah, no, we've got a lot of new titles that come out every single week, and everything's a key. My favorite was the Tinian Batman line. Every single week was a new key comic. It was kind of like,
and it's hard with like failsafe. Like, it's dope that it's his first appearance, but what there's always that chance that they could just kill it off and it's gone forever, and then it's like, oh, okay, now it's nothing, right?
Tinian wasn't going to stay there on that run for good. I mean, what was the likelihood somebody else would want to keep using?
Well, I think mine was Zdarsky, my example, but to the same thing. He
could
be off of that anytime, right?
Yeah.
And then boom.
Yep, you got it.
But I think
nowadays
people
I
that
think we're
going
paying
in though.
for the art, to be honest, not the story.
The art, the art is
nowadays.
good on a
I
lot
think
of
we're
titles.
paying for the art. I mean, recently, the only reason my kids got excited to go to the comic book store is because we got those Disney What If variants. Remember?
Yeah.
I mean, that was strictly for the art. I mean, yeah, we read the story together. It was okay, but that was like okay, I'm buying this for the cover.
I think it is with Marvel and DC sometimes, but I think it's the writing that's making indies special. I think
and the
concepts. I think the renaissance of comics is in indie comics with the writers, because the writers are doing some very bold things and some much cooler stories right now. So, I mean, I guess it depends on what you read. If you're a Marvel comic DC person, then you're pretty much buying
Yeah.
art in a lot of ways. I mean, yeah, Zdarsky's going back and we've got other people doing stuff. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, I feel like a lot of the really good writers are still staying in comics and they're doing indies. My feelings.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's a lot of great writers and great artists that are out right now. If you read everything, you might feel like it's not that way. But if you narrowed it down to people that you like, I love Zdarsky. I love it. You know, most of the stuff that he writes. Jorge Jimenez. I'm always gonna love his artwork. Who is it? Chichetto? Is it Mark Chichetto? I don't. Might be a different first name. That was doing
I
Daredevil
can't
stuff
remember
with
his
him or
first
whatever.
name. And I just know
Beautiful
Chichetto, but
art.
I don't know the last name, the
Yeah.
first name. Sorry.
Jem,
I'm
tell me
looking
what you
it
think
up.
about this one. Troll Hunter says, "Do you think omnibuses will ever go the way of single issue comics and start having exclusive variant covers?"
Yeah, I think they will. I've tried a couple times.
He's
Keep
like, "I'm
trying.
already there, guys."
We'll keep trying. I mean, I'm sure with an independent publisher, I think it would be even easier. But with Marvel or DC, it's possible for sure. But
I know sometimes the hard
but
covers have a nicer inside.
will that be sought after? Like, I think that's going to boil down to like the variant game as well. Like, if it's a much better cover, then I think people would be like, okay, it's worth it. But the other thing that with Omnis that's hard. Well, they haven't even done it yet to even get into that what if scenario. They haven't allowed it. I don't think there has been an exclusive variant omnibus dust jacket.
Yeah. And at the same time, too, a lot of those hard covers as well have usually a pretty dope cover underneath the dust jacket as well.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
have on the actual.
some at least some do. I mean, I know the metal run with DC just ended up looking like just a piece of metal underneath it there, which was kind of weak. But you know, I've seen a few of
Marvel
them in there where it's like, wow.
for Marvel, if it's modern, they'll do something crazy. If it's Silver Age, they'll just give it all black. And then DC kind of just does whatever. Yeah, sometimes they'll just do some kind of design or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sometimes it'll have art. I think too.
Shout out to Jay Imlock. That's a fantastic point, actually. For reading, I think omnibuses make the most sense. For collecting, single issues.
But there's definitely a collector's itch for omnibus too. I've seen them. I've seen people that are just like me. We got a Facebook group, 7,000 members. It's mostly omnibus people.
Yeah.
And yo, if you're anything like me, volume 1, you got to have volume 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now you got this character. You got to get all the events. You got to get everything, man. It becomes a compulsive collecting thing, the omnibus. And
well, I mean,
you can get it for cheap, but it becomes a whole thing.
We're in an addictive market of things.
Exactly.
You know, collectors. We've all got our little Jones or a little scratch to itch as far as things go. So, you know, there's always going to be more than one of us.
For me, the omnibus itch was so hard for me because it gives me that collector or collectability, but it also has the material you can actually read. Like, that's why I liked it over Keys. Keys, the covers are great. It's historic. It's from the 60s or whatever it's from. But to be able to display it, have it look good, and it's useful, you could read it. That's what does it for me.
You can't always take those things with you, but if you've read them and you've gotten to actually read them, that sticks with you up here, right? You can take that anywhere. And a lot of people don't get the chance to do that right now. They're too busy buying the comic. They're never going to even crack it open. No, it's in a slab.
Yeah.
Most of them come encased in plastic, so they can't. So I mean, you know, you're saying too, it's wonderful to actually read the books sometimes and have that experience of, you know, taking that with you anywhere, because knowledge goes a lot farther nowadays, man. Hell yeah.
I definitely love getting another one under my belt, man. You feel accomplished. You feel like you stored it up here, like you said, like boom, another one, you know, and you know, just helps, you know, appreciate the art and the storytelling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Miss Troll Hunter, we do appreciate that. Legion of Paper just joining. Jem, what's one negative thing about statue collecting you found out after you got deep into the hobby?
What's the negative thing? I don't know. I mean, I guess the obvious things, the cost, the space they take up. But I mean, it's been so positive and beneficial, and like it helped me. That's what I do now. You know what I mean? Is just basically review statues and omnis or whatever. So it's giving me so much more than the negative. I don't even really see it, you know?
I can appreciate that. I mean, yeah, storing has to be something. I think it's Geppetto.
Shout out Golden Age Guru. I think it's Geppetto. He wrote about that boy whose nose grew when he lied. It was my favorite story by Geppetto.
I said Chichetto. Am I saying it wrong?
No, you didn't. It's just Guru being Guru. Finding a place where he can make a joke. Too many dad jokes. Too many dad
Love
jokes.
you, bro.
So when it comes to all the different collectibles that you have in there, I mean, and who's kind of doing the most ones, I know you said recently on one of your more recent posts that it feels like Sideshow's getting into that collectible side, though, of creating smaller runs on their statues. I mean, what do you see as some of the impact that has on the market and seeing where it could possibly go?
Yeah, so like to elaborate on it, like Sideshow usually have edition sizes of 2,500 pieces made, or they'll have like 2,500 of the exclusive and then 1,500 of the collector's edition. There's 11,000 total of the Darth Vader Mythos statue that I reviewed earlier this year. Beautiful piece, but at 11,000 pieces, it's unlikely that Sideshow will sell out. Meaning, if anybody ever wanted to buy that, they would just buy it right from Sideshow brand new. So anybody who owns it is never going to be able to sell it for more than retail, which is not a bad thing. It's a fact of the hobby. And one of the things that you learn about the hobby the longer you're in it is you're eventually going to sell something for some reason.
Yeah.
Whether some life issue hits you and you need the money, whether it's you have to move or you have to downsize or who knows what happens. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to have to sell it. And then once you have to sell, you realize that edition sizes matter. And it's not to profit off anybody or anything like that. It's just simply because we're buying collectibles that hold value and they appreciate in value, as they should. Mm-hmm. And that causes depreciation. So Sideshow's most recent, like 3 statues, have crazy low edition sizes. Like one of them is just 250, and you can only buy it through Sideshow, quarter scale Poison Ivy. Joker was 600 or something like that. They all sold out. So right now, if you pre-ordered it, you got it, that's it. So in 5 months or 6 months, whenever people start receiving these and start showing them off, other people are going to want them, and they're not going to be able to get them from Sideshow. So it's gonna be healthy for the aftermarket.
So do those sell out as quickly as 200, 250 edition, kind of like comics? Like you would go online, we see like bots buying the hell out of it. Are you seeing that already yet? Or was it like, it was there for 5 minutes and it was gone, but versus the 5 seconds kind of thing?
They sold out fast. I don't feel like it was a trying to get Jordans kind of thing where it's like not even possible. Like if you were there when it dropped, you probably would have been able to pre-order one. At least I think so. Like back in the day, I remember, like I mentioned in that video, the Thanos on Throne piece sold out really quick because they announced the edition size prior to opening the pre-order, or when they opened the pre-order. So, most of the time they just go to be determined, and people assume, okay, you just take the pre-orders and figure out how many you need to make, maybe make a little bit extra. But when they let you know how many they're going to make, you're like, oh snap, I probably should jump in on this now. So, we've seen it in the past, and it never felt like a bot thing. It's just kind of like, I'm thinking it might have been something out of necessity. Like maybe, not a lot of people are buying new pieces and they're forced to do a lower edition size thing. But I feel like that actually reinvigorates the hobby, and now you have people buying again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah, dude. Okay. No, I love the idea of actually having something that would be collectible like a statue. I've got like little ones, like the little ones you can buy in your shop that are,
Still cool, man. Still cool.
It's okay. I don't have a single one. You got me beat, bro.
Well, that's one thing.
Jeff, with the statues
arrive damaged, would you say?
So, I mean, it's not like a habitual thing. It happens, and usually the company will work with you on it. I have a lot of statues that have an issue here or there. Like, okay, well, that one's got this little thing. That one's got that little thing. So when it first happens, it's a big deal. And then like eventually you're kind of like, just glue it back on, man, whatever. Like, but the only thing is,
what you gotta do, you gotta send the whole thing back and get a whole.
It depends. Like, if the head was messed up, maybe they have a replacement just for the portrait, or maybe it's just a right arm or something. But you should always disclose if you go to sell something, like, I had to glue this piece back or whatever. Just throw that out there as well. But so like the crow statue that I got from Sideshow, the actual crow that goes on his shoulder was damaged, so they sent me a replacement crow.
Okay,
so that happened.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you find that you know, with that entire process too, and the disclosure of everything afterwards. I mean, is this? Are you like keeping different colors of paint in your house? Are you keeping, you know,
Oh
like
no.
nothing like
I
that?
don't. I never really get anything repaired. Never. I never. But I do have
Yeah.
somebody that can't. I'm lying. So hold on. But I didn't have it repaired. That
Caught
Venom
him.
bust. The Venom bust I mentioned before came damaged, and the company that sold it to me had me send it somewhere, and they did great work. And now I know them, and I'm like, yo, if I need to get something fixed, I'm gonna send it your way. But send it to the
Yeah.
professionals that know how to do it like it's never happened before, you know,
Was it
which is a
something
good
like on
thing.
his head or something? Wasn't it like
In his jaws, it was all
oh,
cracked and separating in the inside of his jaws.
yeah. Because I saw
And
the
I'm like, yo,
carnage one.
and he
I forgot.
repaired something that is like the highest end thing that you could do besides those medical grade silicone busts. That I don't know who's repairing that, but maybe they can too, because they did a great job on the Queen Studios with the saliva and all that stuff.
Man,
Right.
that's crazy, dude.
Okay. Has anyone ever approached you to do a collaboration statue,
Not really
like an
as
exclusive G Mint?
no, it's
statue?
been discussed. It's been discussed. We haven't finalized anything, but I am talking with somebody kind of about doing something. Yeah, but nothing official yet.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
Didn't
that
know.
would be cool. Can I give you an idea? I'll give you full
Sure.
credit for this one.
I-
Ready?
Let's hear it.
I'm talking like a big diamond, like just like a big diamond. Okay, and like inside the diamond, like you're trapped in it or something. And there's like Iceman, just like
I thought he was going to
cooling
tell you
on
to
there
try
or
and
something, you know?
get in like a Keanu or John Wick thing. Like, I want you to do a John Wick, and
I know.
Come
All
on.
ver- I,
I'm
I
not
want
that self-centered, okay?
I want Neo and John Wick, and they're with the guy from all the different Keanu's.
Ooh, Neo and John Wick shooting guns at each other, and the
Keanu
explosion is making
multiverse.
a gem. There you
No,
go.
but if I
Keanu
did
multiverse.
something with a company, I don't think it would be like have a gem in it. It would be something where like maybe we had an exclusive run that has a different base, bottom, decal, or maybe it has a certain switch out that's only exclusive to that or something like that.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, there you go.
that makes a lot of
Trapped in it
sense.
like David Blaine. Yeah.
Like an elite line. Oh, trapped in like David Blaine. Oh, good question there from Legion.
Let's see. Bam. All right, Jem. Any prospects for your daughter's art to become a statue?
I actually never really thought about that. That's a pretty good idea.
Hey, there you go. We're getting
You know-
Hey, we're giving this guy info today, guys.
Yeah, hold on, right? Let me put this on my phone.
We're
That's
gonna
a
write
good
that
idea.
down real quick.
Don't worry, this is recorded. It's okay.
Because the thing with her, she's working on a lot of her own stuff right now, her own characters, and just having fun with it. But I could see, taking some of her original stuff and maybe making something with it someday. Who knows, man? That's a interesting idea.
Does she share a lot of these same passions? You know, because I've got a daughter as well. You know, Theo as well. You know, dad's daughters. We very
Firstborn
often have
daughter.
a few. You know, you've got same. You know, you got
The
a lot of
firstborn
these.
daughter is always like the
You-
dad. Yeah.
They're yours. Mom can say whatever she wants. They're dad's. You know,
Yeah.
do you find her like with a lot of these same, like, oh, that's fucking cool, dad. You know,
No,
do you
she
find a lot of these same pursuits?
she's exactly like me, but she likes her own things, man. She likes to collect these seraphim angels. They're like these little angel statues, and they all have like this kind of like white, light blue, pink palette to them. She got a whole case filled up now. And they have all different ones and all different scenes. But it's just like mine. I'm like, yo, so this is
That's
a
pretty cool.
diorama. Okay, this one has a dog in it. Then, like, okay, I see what you're doing.
That's cool.
So
That's cool.
she does her
man.
own thing like that, you know. And then, so she appreciates this for what it is, but it's not what she's into. So she's got her shit.
That's cool, man.
And
That's
then
cool.
we have another daughter too. She just turned 15, and she's an artist as well. And she does like more darker stuff, like horror stuff, which is funny. And she's a lot like Steph, my wife. And she and then my other one is like, you know, sunshine and rainbows, and then she's like over here with the dark Wednesday Addams stuff going on.
Yeah,
Which is
there you
cool,
go.
man.
You're welcome. I would like a statue, low numbered when it comes out. Wink,
For sure.
wink.
Give him an artist proof.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, I can relate to that. My daughter's who got me into manga. You know, she's the similar but
Yeah.
different. You know, like, oh, I like this, Dad. You should try that, or vice versa. And Yeah.
So that's the
it's
one thing that
very
we
different.
connect on, man, is the manga and anime. Like we read and watched Chainsaw Man together, and we're supposed to be doing content together, man. We're supposed to be doing a Chainsaw Man video, but we haven't done it yet. We already went out and
Chainsaw
bought
Man was
Chainsaw Man
crazy.
shirt.
I haven't watched that.
It's great, man. It's like Berserk, but it's not as serious, but it's as violent. The art in
Oh,
the
yeah.
manga is great, and the anime is great too, man. Yo, Chainsaw Man is
Okay.
is fun. It's
I'll check it.
fun.
I
It's
watch
light,
Star
but
Wars
it's dope.
Visions now. I'll check that. Okay.
Well, this
Chainsaw Man
Star
is
Wars
dope.
Visions has that was a series. This is anime's anime, and
Right.
and Chainsaw Man's, and Berserk. These are things that are a little bit. It's not My Hero Academia. It's not Pokemon. It's a little.
So that's the
it's
thing.
a
I'm not
little-
really into
That's Sailor
like
Moon,
kitty.
you're saying.
I'm not into kitty anime. I'm into like adult, like dark anime. Not like
It's-
adult like that, but like dark,
not
like
hentai.
violence, fighting.
Whoa,
yeah.
whoa. We don't call Pokemon kid anime around.
So, I mean, I like Dragon Ball and all that.
Pokemon's kid anime. I don't care who you are. Sorry.
Listen, I want to be a master, okay?
It's definitely a different tone than something like Berserk or whatever, man. What's the other ones? Your Chainsaw Man, Berserk, or like Death Note is a good one. Easy one to get into. Akira. There's a lot of
Kira,
great shit.
that's a classic right there. But yeah, no, my Demon Slayer is a good simple one. to
Demon
kinda
Slayer's
ease
dope.
yourself
And that's
into.
even a little more kiddie. I mean,
It
compared
is.
to like
It's an easy
Chainsaw
one to
Man,
kind of get into, starting
but it's
to get
not
into the adult.
Pokemon.
It's
Right.
no, exactly. This
That's
is
true.
it's not My Hero Academia.
That's because
it's a
Pokemon's
little
the
bit
best,
darker.
okay?
It's
Pokemon's
kinda
the best
gets out.
anime there is.
I never got into
Just killing
Pokemon.
me.
yet.
Oh, bro.
Attack on Titan. Attack on
Attack on
Titan is
Titan's
a good one as well.
one.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Did
Highly
you
recommend
guys
it.
see the
Manga's got
Avengers anime? They came out with an Avengers anime
I don't really
TV
care
show.
for. And we bought the
Man.
Deadpool mangas. We haven't read them.
I'm just saying, it's like it's almost like it's meant to be, because like when Iron Man does his like it's like
Yeah.
it's like a
The
Super
anime
Saiyan
style.
effect. Like, when Thor's doing his, you see like waves
It
and
actually
it's
sounds
like,
pretty fire though.
it's
yeah.
meant to be anime,
anime as a style goes is kind of unparalleled when it comes to anime, when it comes to what you could be doing right now. I would 100% be okay with that. But
That's what
And
I'm
I've
saying.
seen,
Avengers in anime mode. It's enough said, dude.
yeah, I've
Gotta
seen
check
some
it
good action figures and things like that. I still consider them figures because they can be articulated, like you were saying earlier, Jem. Like
Exactly.
a lot of the anime style, like Iron Man, and you've got every single part moves and flying. It's that much more bust,
Everything flaps.
kind of anime look.
panel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's fucking hot. Hot as hell, dude. Hot as hell, dude.
So, quick question: Is there
Oh.
such a thing as Peach Momoko style action figure or statue?
Not that I know of. As far as that, I'm trying to think. I mean, they do. Hold on. So Prime One Studio and XM Studios and Sideshow, they work with artists. Like Jorge Jimenez has done 2D sketches that Prime One Studio has made to 3D statues, and then you have a lot. You have Gabriel Delado statues that have been made. There's been Alex Ross statues. So, but as far as like abstract, I don't know. I think the closest. It may not even be close, but like I know that Johnny Desjardins is having a statue made of his clown from Spawn, and it looks like his art because his art's very distinct. He's very textured looking, and that's
It's like
kind of
painted. Yeah.
right. And that's something that's like not really an IP kind of because it's like a Winnie the Pooh. It was a Do You Pooh thing. So it's like a Pooh clown Johnny Desjardins statue that looks just like the cover that he did. And I can see a lot of that happening because especially if it's your own IP, you could just get something made. Like if he actually is working with my guy that I would go to if I wanted to make something right now.
Because I mean, J. Scott Campbell does a lot of that too, right? So he takes a lot of his characters
Right.
and
J.
turns
Scott
them
can't. This first Spider-Man one that I bought that I mentioned was a J. Scott Campbell comiquette by Sideshow.
Oh,
that's cool.
They've had Art Germ has done stuff. They've done Art Germ stuff. I mean, there's a
Todd
ton of people.
McFarlane does statues too, right?
I don't think he does. He definitely does a lot with the action figures.
Yes.
Wow, I'm shocked.
The problem is we want, but see, Todd McFarlane is such a man of the people kind of guy. He's like, I'm not going to charge them thousands of dollars for statues. I'm going to make
Yeah.
figures so everybody can have one. And it's like, that's
Yeah.
cool, but like we still do want the statues, dog. Like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what
come
I'm saying.
on.
We'll do what the Galactus
Do
one
it. Do it
did.
for those of us
Make
that want
people
it still.
prepay,
Bro, he did it
and
for
then
him.
make it for the
He
people
did
that
it.
prepaid.
He did it for the Spawn. Didn't that hit like 3 million or something like that? He did the
I have no
Spawn
idea.
action figure Kickstarter.
Right.
Oh
right.
yeah, I have no idea. I'm not.
Yo,
an
what?
action
It was
figure
the whole
guy.
big thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yo.
I remember. Yeah, he did it.
It was a
He
huge
needs to
thing.
do a statue Kickstarter.
That's what I'm
That
saying.
would be crazy.
Or let one of the license it out. See, he don't want to license it. He don't have to. So he's like, yeah, I'm
No.
not gonna do it. He doesn't have
No.
Yeah,
to.
if he
But
came
he
out
is-
with a Todd McFarlane Spawn statue,
If he let Prime One do it, yo, like that would be crazy. If he let the company that did like this Superman, like 1/3 scale crazy Spawn,
right? Oh, imagine
Yeah.
if he came out with a King Spawn sitting on a throne.
That's what I'm saying. Gunslinger, like, come on, bro.
Gunslinger would be sweet.
Gunslinger would be sweet too, man. Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
Just can't do Angela, I guess, with the
Missed
Neil Gaiman.
opportunity, Todd. Just saying.
No.
Missed
No, I can't do
opportunity.
that.
It's funny because he's a businessman at the same time. I'm like, you definitely would sell a ton of statues. Definitely.
No.
It made
No,
2 mil.
but
Okay.
He
so
also
thank you.
needs a lot more ownership of whatever it is he does. Either he doesn't.
Well,
do
that's the
any-
thing. It doesn't
he is-
seem like he wants to let someone else do it, but he could. If I wanted to do it, I'd just do it myself. But like, that's a big commitment in time too. But it's like,
So Jem, is there a Spider-Man 300 statue pose? Like
There has
iconic
been-
Todd pose.
there's been a custom one that has been like homage to that. The new Spider-Man one coming out from them looks very similar to that pose as well, and it's on top of like a perspective base city line, like so it's like really like distorted looking buildings. It's like a weird perspective, but it actually is a very similar pose to the ASM 300 pose that I think.
What about the
cool.
Batman 423 one?
Not a statue? Oh no,
Oof.
hold on, but no, I might be wrong. I think they might have made smaller, like the DC Select stuff. I think they might have made that, like the Batman Black
That
and White.
would
those
be a
smaller
cool
things.
statue too, right?
I think
there.
they did. I think they did do that though, but not in like a quarter scale or something.
Right, like the Superman behind you. If it was like that,
Right.
like
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
Batman
for
Todd, whoa,
sure. That would be
dude.
crazy.
Yeah, that would be
A
crazy.
lot of
as
cape.
hell, dude.
A
Yeah.
lot of cape, right? A lot of cape. Put a couple gravestones behind him, you know.
Who's
I think
your
he
favorite
said-
character? Go ahead.
But
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, I think he said he did that so he didn't have to draw as much and just cover the whole page with the cape. I saw some interview where he said that.
Tracks.
He might have said
Yeah.
that in a Comic Tom interview. Actually, now that I think about it,
Oh,
That's
Well,
right. He had
that-
Comic Tom had him on. Shout out Comic Tom.
he did. I remember he was
Yeah.
nervous as hell leading up to it. I couldn't even. I don't think I could
I
have
would
did it.
be.
You know, to be honest, I
No.
couldn't farther, bro.
no.
too
I would have
starstruck.
lost my mind.
I would
Yeah,
need
it's
a
really
couple
like-
beers. Yeah.
So, who's one of your favorite characters to collect? You know, you talked about your turtles there. I mean, is that
Love
it?
turtles.
If
Nah,
so,
man.
who would be
I'm
number
a
two?
Spider-Man, symbiote, Wolverine kind of guy. So like, give me Venoms and Carnage, Spider-Man. I like X-Men. I like Batman. I like Superman. Superman is one of my favorite characters too, man. That was like the first superhero for me too as a kid. Like I got this picture of me back in the day. I think it's like my first day of kindergarten, and I got a Superman lunchbox. Like I always rocked with Superman, and then Death and Return of Superman was like the first comic book series I ever read, and I love it to this day. I love that series. I love Doomsday. I love the big art. I love everything about the whole series. So Superman is up there for me as well. But yeah, most I like Marvel. I like DC. I don't discriminate against either one.
Respect.
That
dude.
Sentinels
Good
one
man.
you have, I think, is my favorite.
What I'm really looking forward to is they're making a Age of Apocalypse companion diorama where it's like this huge version of Apocalypse from AOA, and then it has like 5 characters on it as well. But I think it's like that, Age of Apocalypse version of Bishop, Wolverine
with
Rogue,
the
and
hand
Magneto.
missing and-
So when you
think it
say
is, yeah.
companion, like it clips on, or it's the same
No,
mold?
it just you would display it together.
Okay, so it looks good together, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Like
Got
you
it,
would put
got
it next to it. That doesn't click in or anything, but I kind of surround it with a lot of the additional pieces they've been releasing. So actually, it kind of all looks connected that you mentioned it.
That's cool.
Jeez.
That's a good idea for the statue guys out there.
It's
You know,
They have a company that's called like Connecticut's or something, and they'll make 2 statues that you can connect them together and make one thing. They had like a
Oh wow.
Ryu versus Ken Street Fighter one. They had another one from like Final Fight, I think, or something like that. I don't remember the characters' names, but
Yeah.
it was dope.
Or maybe they could even do like magnets, right? Eventually, you just kind of there's magnets in the base. It just kind of eventually
Yeah,
you just have this whole structure, you know.
But what I really just want to see, Iron Studios, who made those Sentinel dioramas, I want to see them do a big Galactus like that, and then have like the Silver Age, Fantastic Four, and Avengers all around them fighting him, and then Silver Surfer, of course, and
that would
like
be sick.
that would be crazy.
I would like them to do that. Maybe mix it with the John Byrne cover, where you have the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. Like you got
Right.
Cap on the bottom with the shield. You know, you got Doctor Strange like in the corner.
They could be inspired, and however that can translate to a statue for sure.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great. John's Comics with Kids. What's up, brother? Nice to see Gem live with you guys. Question: what makes a statue a great statue?
I think you look at a couple things. You look at the paint, you look at the sculpt. You know, if that's together, you know, you want to look at the what's the quality like? How are the pieces fitting together? Are the pieces, or are they sitting flush together? There's also the whole like, what's the character? Like, if it's my favorite character, that's going to be, I'm going to like that more than somebody else. But that, and then there's things like the price, the edition size. There's a lot of variables to what makes a great statue. So if you have a statue that sold out from the manufacturer, it's highly sought after on the aftermarket, the pose is dope, it was so well sculpted, the detail is perfect, and the paint application is on point, that all together would make a great statue. You know what's, I'll tell you right now, XM Studios Ghost Rider is a great statue.
Yes.
It hits all of those things, and it does what XM Studios is probably the best at, is innovation, man. They were the first ones to put like a huge Ghost Rider on motorcycle with 2 flaming tires as a statue, where most statues were like museum pose, kind of basic, and they came out with this crazy statue that's quarter scale.
Are the statues numbered?
Yeah, so that's the edition size I was talking about. So when it says 2,500, your piece is like 134 out of 2,500.
Like it's engraved on there.
Yeah, on the bottom. It's written on, but
got it.
It's written, yeah. Yeah, I know. Like I've got a few things from Sideshow in the house, but it's art. It's like, you know, it's as far
I kind of want to get
some
Sideshow art prints, man. They got great stuff.
Yeah, I got the Jay Anacleto Zatanna with all the rabbits all over. It's
okay,
sweet.
What are those expensive action figures? Are they NECAs, or what are those things called? The metal ones? They're almost
Hot Toys.
Hot Toys, yeah. What's your thoughts on Hot Toys? I wanted to ask you about Hot Toys.
I'm not into the articulation.
Some of the Iron Man ones look pretty dope. I'll admit it.
I think Iron Man is the best character they do.
Those things look crazy.
Because I'm not against mixed media, but if it was my choice, it would be 100% sculpted. And then when it's not Iron Man for Hot Toys, I feel like there's a lot of mixed media elements, and then again the articulation. I don't know. So I just
I would take the Iron Man from there, the Ghost Rider from here. Like I would take the Galactus from over there, and like probably that Sentinel you got. You know, that would probably be mine right there.
Hey, so there's people that collect like that.
There's the only ones I think from that line that I really wanted was like the Ronin inspired Boba Fett and the samurai Darth, kind of like all the different Star Wars characters, but with that anime, that ninja that versus the samurai versus that Ronin kind of look to them all. They had the old battle. That would be the one things I would probably have been interested in. I think from that Hot Toy line. I think those were Hot Toys if I remember correctly, because they were sweet.
There's been a few that I've been like, oh, okay, that's pretty nice, but just still never enough for me to get them.
I don't have any. I'm just saying they're the only ones that I would have thought about doing. Are they cool? Yeah. Do I have any? Nope.
So it looks like Frankie, Bird of Frankenstein. You heard of that one from Sideshow?
Yes. Hold on. Which one is Frankie? Oh, damn. I'm trying to think. I can't. Oh, it's the Sideshow art. No, I don't. I was thinking something else. But no, I really like the classic Alex Ross X-Men, and like the Alex Ross stuff they've done has been crazy. The Justice League, the Avengers stuff, like those iconic black background photos that you guys know from Alex Ross. I would love to have those framed like canvas prints or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. 100%, dude.
Any plans on getting some comics for the statues that you have?
You know what? We're in a soft market, man. We're in a good place to do that. I
Now's
haven't
the time
really
to buy.
I haven't really thought about it too hard yet, but I'm still not settled in. Once everything is settled, I'm buying and selling and doing some stuff right now. Then maybe I would consider it to pair up, especially with statues that I'm like, yo, that's a keeper statue right there. I would
There's
consider it.
that Frankie they were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
right
It
there.
must have been. I know I've heard that recently, so
Ooh.
that's what I was thinking about actually. That's dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Very cool, man.
unique. Very unique.
Very cool. I could never really handle that. I wouldn't be able to. I don't know where I'd be able to get away with putting that. It's hot as hell, but
I don't know if I trust myself with it.
I'd just be like, everybody comes in the room like, like I've got like a Harley Quinn and a Zatanna small one right now. I'm just like, yep, that's enough. I'm like, this is beautiful, but I don't know if I feel like my nephews would be spending way too much time in my room.
Well, for me, it's like it's weird if you don't have any female statues, but then it's weird if you have a bunch of overly sexualized female statues. You got to have a balance somewhere.
Exactly. There has to be a balance. Like I've got the masculine characters. Otherwise, you're just kind of like, it's that guy.
That's why it's nice to be an X-Men fan. You get a nice mix of characters.
There's a balance on every single team, right? There's
Nice
a balance
hometown
on every
buffet over
single
there.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, thank you so much for making it out tonight. We really
Always a pleasure,
sincerely
brother.
appreciate it.
Yeah, of
man.
course, man.
It's and honestly, the education level has been ridiculous on this because I've always wondered about statues in all honesty. And like I said, I've got a few things from Sideshow, nothing crazy, but I've always wanted to look at the statues, and I've just been living vicariously through your YouTube channel.
That's good for me, man.
You've been saving me so much money, bro. You have no idea.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, good. Yeah, you can see a lot better of the.
I don't know where the sensor's at. Oh, there you go. Brighten up the day.
Yeah, they're gorgeous, dude. They're gorgeous. Yeah. Keep up the good work, man. You got a great channel. You got great content.
Appreciate it.
I love learning all this stuff each time, and yeah, that Carnage bust was ridiculous. When you put that in there, I could not move. I was just watching the whole thing. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, I feel like I got to assemble that entire thing. I freaking loved it.
I like it too. I hate when I get a statue and it's like two pieces. And I'm like, oh, that's it. Well, it looks nice, but I love the life size bust. But usually they're just one solid piece. It's funny that with Venom and Carnage, they just have their long tongues and symbiote tendrils and teeth and all that. So
I couldn't imagine them shipping it though if they had it fully assembled like that. Head,
yeah,
just to try and get that out. It would have had
for
to
a reason.
Yeah, it would have had to have been busted into. You got to wonder how they research that out too. Are they just looking for breakpoints? It's like, all right, we're gonna.
They do drop tests. I know that. Like in the factory, they'll put it in the box and like throw it, and like if it didn't get damaged, okay, we're good to go. Like,
wow,
really?
Okay,
that's the design.
I wish Diamond would do that sometimes. I've seen like boxes of comics come in with all kinds of shit on them. Man,
actually, I got one more quick question. Now that I'm looking at your setup, I have to ask this.
Yeah.
I'm a stay-at-home dad. I do all the cleaning, all that kind of stuff, right? Do you have like plexiglass in front of those statues?
No, I didn't. I never was into that, and especially for the video, I just feel like you'll see glares and everything off of it.
Yeah.
I like it to have it open. Sometimes characters stretch out a little bit further and then go over.
So then my next question is then,
let's do it. I dust them.
I was gonna say, what do you do with the dusting, right?
Yeah, I'll dust them every now and then. Hit them with a little duster. But most of the time, man, I'm usually moving stuff around so much that it's like, maybe I'll move it and then I'll hit it with a quick dust, and then like I'm always rearranging something anyway. Yeah. So
stay-at-home dad just went there. I was like, wait, how does he dust all that?
Do you use like a little computer, like the little air cans? Dude? Do you use like the air cans like you would for a computer?
I've heard that the chemicals in there can mess with the paint. I don't know if that's true or not. I never tested it. I've used like makeup brushes or like just dusting like feathers or whatever, like how you would regularly dust something.
Okay. All right. Okay. Respect,
but
dude.
I never did it as much as I should though. I'm not.
I can
really
just
spend
see
a lot
the
of time
little
on
I'm
it.
just
makeup
like,
brush.
okay, I'm like,
Little
does he
makeup
do
brush
it
just
and
walking
have a
around
little
in
Yo,
the
I
back?
did.
Does
I
he have a
did that in a
vacuum
skit.
nearby while he's doing it? Like what?
I did a skit in the beginning of a video with that. Yo, it was pretty funny.
You did? I'm gonna have to look for it now.
Yeah,
I
I
was
can tell you
wondering
what
about
it is. If you want to know, I could put you in the DM. I'll tell you.
No, yeah, definitely. I gotta find that one because I want to see that now because I could imagine that right now. That's why I was thinking like I could just imagine you with a little makeup brush going like, okay, trident here, hair
It was
there.
funny. And I was
That had
big.
to
I was
take
big.
time.
I was a big guy too. I was like.
Steal one of
Pretty
your
funny.
daughter's like little brushes. It's like,
And
I
the
think it was
next
my
reel
wife,
we
yeah.
see from Jem, he'll be wearing an apron with like a hat. He'll be dusting off some statues with a brush. Yep.
you see the girls in the background going like, Dad, where the hell are our makeup brushes? And you're like, 1 minute. They see like dusting with it. That'd be great. I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Oh, there's
Oh
those
man, well,
little vacuums that Lego peeps use. Dude, I'm learning all kinds of stuff today. All right, you're gonna slide in my DM later, Ozzy, and show me what you're talking about.
Damn, you heard it here first, yo.
yeah,
Jeez. Lego
I've seen
vacuum.
shop vac attachments that are like for car detailing that are super small and minute. But I've never seen I mean like down to like, you know, like pen tip size holes, right? Like that stupid small. I've seen those, but that goes on a shop vac. So I mean you can imagine the you know, through that little hole.
Yeah.
I'm never doing that again on camera.
You guys can clip that part, edit me and Jem out.
Shut up, Theo. Damn it. Well, again, dude, it's been a fantastic hour. We're super appreciative. Anybody that obviously doesn't know Jem and his channel, what are you doing on YouTube? But if you don't, please make sure you go find Jem's channel because obviously this guy's got copious content for days to learn things from. Holy
Appreciate
cow.
it. Yeah, check it out. You can see the unboxing Phil was talking about.
Oh,
Anything
yeah,
coming
that
up in the
Carnage.
future? Anything you want to plug in?
No, just always the same. Just, you know, on Whatnot, we
Like-
started doing statue auctions and giveaways. So we gave away a statue every month so far. We got a Dark Side Sideshow statue giveaway at the end of this month. So if you're not following me on Whatnot, follow me there because we do bring the statue stuff over to there as well.
How do you get to enter in that? Is it just the Whatnot entry from being there, kind of?
Am I allowed to even promote that here? I mean, I should have asked. I don't know.
You can do bro.
No,
You are
I
the
asked
guest.
you.
We talk about
Yeah.
everything, man.
No, it's
Yeah.
just
And,
you know, just,
most of everybody on here knows. I mean, hey, this is Jem. I'm Rage. We sell on Whatnot Wednesday together. If you don't know,
right.
where have you been? Like,
So, the giveaway is just you just got to be following. That's it. It doesn't cost anything. We pay the shipping. It's 100% free.
Nice. That's freaking sweet, dude. Hell yeah. Hell
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Well, everybody, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We are truly blessed to see everybody here each week, and can't wait to see everyone again next week. Theo, anything going on this week you want to be able to plug real quick before we go?
no, we got the usual Whatnot show on Wednesday coming up. There's a couple people in the chat that actually were in my IG live sale, so everything's been wrapped. I've already invoiced you, so I appreciate you there. We are almost at 750 subs. We're at 749. For 500 subs, we're giving away that Batman 666 over on the IG. So check out Rage Theo or One True Nerd King's page to enter into that. And no, you are not to give information to somebody by the name of Rage Theo with a 0.
I just blocked that
There's
account
only
today.
one Rage Theo. Please don't give your info out. Love you guys. We'll have a special giveaway for you at 1,000 subs. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz.
All that.
Thank you guys so much for making it, and we'll see you again next week. Take care, everybody.